We're ready?
Ready.
Okay, well, this meeting of the school board of Blue Valley is now in session. Join me in the pledge of allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, thank you for being here. We got a couple of things we gotta do before we go to executive session. The second is to approve the budget hearing meeting minutes
I'll make a
of July
motion.
29.
We approve the budget hearing meeting of July 29th, 2025.
And I'll second that.
Thanks. Any questions about it or corrections? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. They're approved. Same thing goes for the regular meeting minutes of July 29th, 2025. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the regular meeting minutes, July 29th.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Thanks. Any corrections or additions? No? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no. And then the third one is meeting minutes of our annual board retreat of August 7th. Is there a motion to approve that?
I'll make a motion to approve the annual board retreat minutes of August 7th.
Thanks. Second?
I'll second.
Great. Any changes or corrections that need to be made? No? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. And finally, we have adopt our agenda for tonight.
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Thanks. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Great. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. All right, we do have an executive session. We'll do it right now. 30 minutes?
Yes. We'll be back out at 6 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say by 6 o'clock.
Okay.
You like to sit at the meeting tonight, everybody else got to go? deal. 10 stitches in there, 10 staples,
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, when did that happen?
weekend before last.
Oh,
Okay, you guys are back.
Yeah,
Okay.
they bleed that too, they don't,
Oh,
all those,
yeah, like a stuck roll.
yeah. A lot of that
Actually,
does
those
look good.
staples coming out were kind of, this morning were kind of. Yeah,
Bleedy?
didn't feel good, but first time I've ever had staples in there.
That's right, because they were using pliers and
I
not
don't
the
know where to
staple
find anything
remover. All right. We're back. And the next thing up
Google.
is, are there any public comments or questions? You want to say anything?
Just happy to be here.
Thank you for joining us.
thank you for joining us. We're glad you're
You said you're
here.
having to do this for school?
Yes, for my clinical field study, I have to get 6 hours of doing educational related activities.
And what are you going to be when you grow up?
Boy, I haven't decided that yet.
Oh, well, what's your degree in?
I'm gonna get a master's degree in secondary education with a focus in science.
Oh, awesome.
You want to work here?
I do.
Oh, okay. I bet that can be arranged
We
at some
thought you
point.
just liked us.
I do.
Well,
But then after once I grow up, I might change my mind.
Understood, understood. All right. Anybody out there, Nathan, that wants to comment? All right, great. Well, then let's move on to our consent agenda. Is there a motion to accept, to adopt our consent agenda tonight?
I'll make a motion, we accept tonight's consent agenda.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All righty, any questions or comments?
How many available spots you got left to fill?
we have
4 classified and 3 certificated.
3 certificated, 4 classified.
That's not bad. Better than it was last meeting.
Mhm.
All right, any other questions? Not hearing any. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Consent agenda is passed. Page 2. Well, see, half of page 2 is already gone, so
That was awesome.
well done.
Good job.
You bet. All right. Reports are, haven't had one of these in a while. Financial report.
Oh, we're already there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Boy, that was fast.
Oh, gosh. I'll hold you guys up. Hold on.
It's okay.
That's okay.
Financial report.
This is a very patriotic financial statement because it's led off with the American flag.
I have that left on there since COVID.
Yeah.
I know.
It's just a reminder to us. Okay.
Yeah, we don't want to remember that. So for the month of July, we had revenues are one of our biggest apportionment at 7.2 million, almost 7.3 million. And we had an additional 300,000 because we were shorted that the month prior. I think I told you that.
Mhm.
And so we had an additional almost 700,000 that we put into our reserves. And what that looks like is we're about, for the month of July, we had 9.9 million in the general fund, net cash and investments at the county for 15% of our $60 million budget. And you can see on the next slide, we're showing the trend about where we were last year, and we'll probably end with the trend at the end of August. We made our undesignated unreserved, and we have 9.9% in our unreserved and undesignated fund.
Good, thanks.
And there were not many anomalies. If I go back to, look and see, can't remember. I think we are still searching for our University of Washington money from the DNR. Still, we haven't seen that.
That's
our
the
debt-
county's looking for
Yeah.
that, right?
I need to follow up on that with Jan. And we saw a little more come in our debt service fund. But there's no anomalies otherwise.
Okay, good. Well, that was quick. Board member reports? Anybody have anything this week before school starts?
Oh,
Yeah, well, sporting activities are starting, volleyball, football, soccer, right?
Are the football doing 2-a-days or something, or are they down to 1 a day this year?
Tomorrow will be the last 2 a day.
Tomorrow is? Are you helping out?
Yes.
Ah.
Good.
What time do you do that?
The team will meet at 8 a.m. and then we'll have an afternoon practice at 3:20.
Okay.
And then you got
Getting the-
Jamboree Friday,
Where's that, PA?
Montesano.
Montesano.
Oh.
Ooh,
We'll be playing Rochester and hopefully.
How many do you have turned out?
I want to say we have close to 40, maybe
Wow.
37 players, I think.
Super.
Yeah.
Anybody, are we gonna do well? I mean, what's your prognosis?
I think we're
A
gonna
lot
have,
of rookies this year?
no, well, we had a lot of younger class sophomores last year that are juniors now, so.
Oh, so we're building.
Yeah, and we had a strong freshman class last year, so now we got a strong junior class or sophomore class. And
Cool.
yeah, I think the size on the offensive line and the skill there is going to be the big change from last
Cool.
year.
And who's doing our volleyball? Who's
Jen
coaching that?
Leduc.
Okay, and any word on volleyball? Lot of younger classmen or a mix also?
I think it's a mix. But they held summer camp as well. And they're ready. They've been practicing. And then we will start our soccer program. Is it next week? Is that right? Yeah. So
Is
the
it-
soccer's delayed because we didn't have
Do
a
they
coach
still
there.
have that 10 practices before they can play
Mhm.
thing?
Mhm.
How does that affect the other, or the schedule being delayed
We're
like that?
adjusting accordingly.
Okay. And are we still in a 1A status with soccer?
Oh, I don't.
I thought we went to 1A with soccer.
Not
We-
for
Not for
girls.
girls,
Oh, for
but for
girls.
boys
Just for
we
boys.
are.
Okay.
Because otherwise we would have to do soccer simultaneously with football and that wouldn't work.
And the reason we're delayed is because we didn't have a coach.
Correct.
Cool. What else is, those are 3 sports, I
Yeah.
guess.
Middle school does not start until the 3rd of September.
Okay. And what about an announcer for our, any,
We
Is
have
John
an,
gonna do it?
we
No,
have an
John's-
announcer, our
Oh.
advertisement worked that was in the paper.
Uh-huh.
Ismail Ramos is going
Oh,
to
great.
do it.
Who is?
Oh,
Ismail
Ismail.
Ramos.
Oh,
He'll do a great job.
Uh-huh. And then
Or cashier?
we have the cashier, right?
No, but we have a concession.
We have a concession.
Oh.
So we're looking for volunteers if anybody knows them.
And I said I would help
Okay.
volunteer too.
To do,
Maybe.
Taking tickets.
Money at games.
did they get the monitors hooked up and do the ticket? They're supposed to have that done.
so you can watch the game while you're collecting
think so.
tickets? Listen, or they can watch both?
They could watch the game while they're selling tickets, so because they can't see.
I'll double check, but I
And-
thought they had everything moved
They were
over there.
supposed to have it done.
Okay.
'Cause that was announced last year that they were gonna get that done.
I'll find out.
Yeah.
So when they built.
So they got like a 50-inch screen in there for them to
Yeah,
watch it
pretty
on?
big
or
one.
what? 65. Yeah.
65 refreshments.
Yeah,
Oh,
they could
cool.
watch the game and
Yeah, well, that
you
makes sense, and
it'd be nice.
lose track of the amount of
Because
money
we-
they're collecting.
Stream all the games, so you just get on there and do it. And Dave was wired for it to get it
Because
done.
moms want to watch their kids play, so.
Right.
yeah.
Of course they
Well,
do.
Cindy did it for a long time, and Tina's done it.
So do dads.
And
Yeah.
other ones, and they just hope that they would really like to watch.
Yeah,
And that'll help get people in there too to do it, because they can still watch the game,
yeah.
so.
Go ahead, Shannon.
Okay, I was just, we talked about it before.
few months ago about getting like the, I don't know what we have it in there, the, at the next level, but then we talked about like our military.
We're working on it.
You're working on it,
Jay, actually, we're gonna build cases too, and then figure out where to put a monitor
Mhm.
that can keep rolling. And he went and did measurements, and we'll come back with a plan. We have put aside 30,000 for that.
for that. And that could include like those at the next, like that, those are that are military.
Military,
those that are
all of
doing
that,
sports,
yes. Yeah.
And then, I don't know, but I know that wasn't really updated.
Yes,
There-
yes.
So,
And we're thinking the big screen is the better way to do it, because then you can easily add
yes. that was great.
pictures and, yeah,
Mhm. No, that looked really cool.
we're working on it.
Awesome. Thanks.
Okay, anybody else board wise? All right, Myron, what's the latest from the world of Insight?
We are continuing to approve kids, as I shared with Diana this morning. We're about 300 kids ahead of where we were last year at this point for approvals. We're still working through choice transfers. We still have quite a few outstanding choice transfers from students that are coming back from last year. And so, as I shared with you during the board meeting summit, that's where all of our families have to get permission, if you will, from their resident school district to attend Inside School in Washington. And so we
What age group?
continually, what's that?
The 300 you're ahead is, are you seeing a like more high
Oh, that's a
schoolers or
great
more
clarification.
elementary?
Yeah, it's mostly elementary, middle school. There's about 40 of those that are in the high school. The rest of them are evenly split basically between middle school and elementary. So we're seeing most growth in elementary and middle school. And then the choice transfers, we continue to chase. We are sending out messaging and working with families. It's interesting. I actually had a family recently who, I've had a few families who are, there's one particular district, I shared it with Diana, and she's happy to, she can share with you offline, where it's looking like they're not sending them through. And so I've called that district on a couple of families, and I had a family call, and she had 4 students with us, and she actually got all 4 first best through, but they've been sitting there for a long time. And so we're seeing that happening as well, where some districts are kind of like a little slow on pushing them forward to us, so we can't approve the students. And that's what I shared with you during our board retreat. That's why we're working with Diana and our OMAC school district as well to put in a rule change where this choice transfer thing for returning kids isn't as required as it is for new. We think it makes sense for new kids, but for returning students, if they already here, why do they have to get permission again to come back? And so we're working through that right now and trying to get a rule change with OSBI, because it's a huge lift for ourselves as well as the other districts and our families.
Absolutely.
Great. Okay. Let's move on to old business. Board procedure 24, what? Board procedure 2410P.
You do not have
To
to
make a motion. on this.
motion, but we did update our procedure, and I thought I had them in red to highlight what has changed. But one of the new requirements, I shouldn't say new, they've been working on it at the state level, is that our students start a 4-year high school and beyond plan. They're introduced to it in the 7th grade, so that they start thinking and do their career exploration. They get familiar. The state purchased an app called School Links. They used to be in Skyward and be kind of clunky. And so the goal is to implement that in the 7th and 8th grade through advisory. So by the time a 9th grader starts, they've got things mapped out.
Mm-hmm.
Additionally, what was added, a couple of other things. You have all these different pathways. If a student doesn't pass their Smarter Balance test requirement, they can get it through a CTE pathway. The one we were missing is called a performance-based pathway. And so let me give you an example. Let's say we have a student who is an entrepreneur, has started a business, and they can demonstrate that they're linking that performance-based pathway to what they want to do after they get out of school. We have to get a panel together who would judge it. as to see whether or not that would meet the requirement for that pathway graduation. You have to use the State Board of Education forms. I mean, it's a pretty complex process, but what it reminds me of is kind of the old senior projects.
Oh.
So we added that part, and then the other part that was added is there is an opportunity for awarding diplomas posthumously. So if you have a student who's deceased, they were enrolled in the public school, and they were on track to graduate before the time of death, but they died after matriculating into the high school, you could award them a diploma, and that's new.
Nice.
Just wanted to highlight those for you guys.
Thanks. Okay, bond replacement, Forks Middle School.
So we have 3 items, and the first one is a contract to do the geo studies? Yeah.
Associated Earth Sciences.
Civil geo studies to see the engineering study.
What's underneath the grass?
Yep.
I think they were going down like 250 feet, I think that.
Mhm,
Doing like core samples,
mhm.
Yeah,
that's a long ways down.
I don't know why they're going down that far.
And the total estimate is $45,450, and it's based on, of course, state charging for engineering services. I know,
To
That
dig a
just
hole.
That has to be done.
it has to be done. You can't pass this one.
Okay. The pre-design advisory committee.
Wait, you gotta
Oh,
do a motion.
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
motion.
I'm sorry. How do I get rid of this screen?
Which screen?
Well, I brought up but now I can't figure out how to get rid of it.
You've got, it's hiding. Maybe scroll up a little bit. Or right here.
Oh, I see. Never mind.
Oh, no, it didn't do it. Let's see. Can I use your mouse really quick? Sorry, Bill.
That's okay. I asked you to help.
It's
Yep.
hiding.
Oh, there it is.
There you go.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Now, where were we? Motioning?
Yes.
Associated Earth Sciences.
Yeah. Okay. Is there a motion to approve the Associated Earth Sciences, Inc. contract for the geotechnical study of Spartan ball fields project? And you don't have to repeat that when you
I'll make a
make the
motion.
motion. Thanks. Is there a second? And you don't have to repeat that either.
I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed say no. That it is passed. Okay. Now we can talk about the pre-design advisory committee for the Forks Middle School bond.
So we have confirmed with most of the potential candidates, with the exception of our parents. I'll be talking with them tomorrow. And we are unsure of the middle school teacher at this point. And then the other thing is that we can have a total of 2 board members. So our plan is to have 7 meetings for sure, maybe 8 or 9, depending on how the first 7 go. They're once a month. They start in September. They will be on the 3rd Thursday of each month, and it will go from 5:30 to 7, and we'll feed dinner.
You having dinner every meeting?
Oh,
Ooh,
well.
sounds-
My
And-
bill.
I
Kevin might fight for
There
that
was a
too.
Wednesday on there, though. I did on that calendar.
Was there a Wednesday on the
I saw a
calendar? I think,
The first meeting's on Wednesday.
huh, okay, I'm wondering if that's supposed to be Thursday, but anyway, one of the, and then we would get not a Forks Middle School representative, but a Forks High School who just recently was in the middle school, because we want to really get a good idea. Our goal is to try to keep our costs down, but to have a nice representative building of our pride like we've done with the high school, but to make smart decisions that don't drive the cost up. And so
What would happen if you missed a meeting?
that's why if there were 2 board members who wanted to do, you could report out at Jay will always be at the 4th meeting of the month to report out, but it would be helpful too if we had a board member. And then, so if two of you would want to say, I'll do it, then you could decide which meetings you wanted to go to. You could both be there, or if you had to miss a meeting, then the other one could be there. Then we would have board representation.
When do you want to know by?
Beginning of September. Or tonight, if you want.
Well, I'd
Or
be
whatever.
interested.
Would you be
in
interested?
one spot.
If
All you had
nobody
to say
wants,
was dinner.
I know. We had you at dinner.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't know what he's signing up for. He just gets
well,
dinner.
if nobody else is dying to do it, I'll do it.
Okay.
But that's one I will need
Reminders.
on.
Okay, we'll add your names, and then when we get the student rep and the teacher rep and confirmation of our two parents, we'll let you know. Everybody else has agreed to be on the committee.
Okay. Great. Do you want to talk then about the schedule or just,
Do you want to,
Yeah,
I think
for
our
our-
board
Well, we need to-
policy says you have to
Right.
approve
We
any
have to
ad
approve
hoc committees.
oh, yeah. Oh, I see. Well, getting ahead of myself again. All right. Is there a motion to approve the pre-design advisory committee for the Forks Middle School design?
I'll make a motion to approve the pre-design advisory committee members.
Second,
I'll second.
Oh, go ahead.
I'll second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. The committee is approved. And it looks like we've discussed the schedule already.
Yep.
So let's move on to new business.
Don't we have to do this third one?
You should just approve the calendar. while
We
we're
just
there.
did,
It really
we kind of
is
did.
that-
It's just a
yeah.
listing of
Oh.
when the meetings are.
Gotcha.
And then what the primary
Yep.
focus of each of the meetings would be.
So is that,
I just wasn't reading that.
final right there? We can print that off and get a copy of that?
You can print that, yes, we can print it off for you and give you a copy of it, yeah.
Okay.
You can even do it, put it in your calendar for you.
Mhm.
Phone.
Mhm.
Somebody
Yeah,
tricky
it's
like
reminders.
You could.
Like Hazel could send you, that's probably what we will do. Actually, Bill Henderson's assistant will probably send out email reminders, schedule it, so.
And who's this assistant?
Ellen Gribben,
I don't know if I've met her. Okay, let's move on then, if it's all right with everyone, to new business. Board policy 2415, performance-based pathway for high school graduation, first
is
read.
it 2415? Oh, good, I'm glad that you said that because it says 2401 in the upper corner, but it is, we'll fix that for the second reading. But this is what I was talking about for performance-based pathway for high school graduation. So a kid can get all of their graduation requirements, and if they don't pass a smarter balanced reading, ELA and math, they can get it through a CTE career pathway, taking the ASVAB, getting a 40, I think, score, through AP testing, other ways. This is another way that I was talking about, where a student could demonstrate that they've been learning about something, and it really describes what I talked about earlier.
Okay, if you look at the bottom of the first reading document, aside from the number, the Q got left out of Quileute Valley School District under the
Oh.
revised dates,
Okay, well, we will fix those.
just in case it's important.
Yep.
Okay,
That's just discussion.
yep. Anybody want to discuss it some more?
Mm-mm.
Okay, board procedure 2415, which will be 01 in the change. Procedures, we can talk about it. That one,
And again, it really talks about how we would assess student products, and that would be through a committee. performed by a single evaluator and or a panel of evaluators. And again, that would be depending on what the student does. And it has to be based on the Professional Educator Standards Board. It has to be approved by somebody with, I would assume, certification.
Okay. All righty. So we'll look forward to the second reading next meeting.
Okay.
Number 3, Board Policy 6213, reimbursement for travel expenses. This has got an edit made to it.
Yeah, you can see the edit is just that they would be aligned to the Internal Revenue Service regulations.
Okay, pretty straightforward.
So you don't have to do the procedures on that, superintendent?
Mhm.
Got
Oh,
rid of that.
no,
Well, that's the next one.
that's the next one.
Oh, which one?
We're
On
on the,
6213.
Oh, that was in the discussion one.
oh. Well, we'll entertain a motion then to adopt Board Policy 6213, reimbursement for travel expenses with the change.
I'll make a motion to approve board policy 6213, reimbursement for travel expenses with the changes.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? It passes. Don't know that there's really anything to talk about in the procedures, but
Oh, the only real change that we made is that we used to,
credit card stuff.
the part about travel out of state, with the exception of Oregon, we find that some of our students are competing, especially track. We used to just have Multnomah County, which is the Portland area. We went ahead and expanded it to Oregon. I think that's really it. And then the credit card part.
Where's the expansion? Oh, there. No.
In the very first page, on the very first page.
Oh, yeah, okay. Okay,
So you made it easier.
Yes. We made it easier.
Good.
well, that's unusual. Hasn't any government agency made
We're
anything
quiet
easier?
tonight.
Okay, and that was a discussion. Okay, now we have, oh, this is the part I didn't come to last year
What part is that?
because I got motion sickness.
Hmm.
We need to, a motion to adopt tonight's, the 25-26 parent-student handbook.
Did everybody read all 75
No.
pages?
No, and again, the discussion we've had too amongst staff is that really this is the compliance part. Like, I know the building principals are wanting to put a more parent-friendly handbook together, but we have a lot of compliance that we have to do.
Mhm.
Our next step is that we'll be translating it into Spanish. We don't have it in Spanish. We're required to do that.
Okay,
Does there say something in there about cell phones in this? No?
It does, and it aligns to what we did last year about no cell phones during the day, but at lunch. And if we want to ratchet it up, we can change that. I would like to engage our staff in conversation about what that might look like. We're getting surveys from the state level to see what our desire is. There's a lot of states that are really now
Ban them all day long.
ban them,
Yeah.
yeah, where they have to put them in a cart at the door when they walk in, if they have them. I mean, so I think the state will be moving that way. I really do, sooner than later.
so our inclination is to wait wait on the state. to
Yeah, and-
Call the shot.
And really enforce what we have now, which is they should not be seen or heard during the instructional period.
So this, go ahead,
I
Sharon.
will say, and the kids maybe should know that if they don't comply, then we're gonna have to
We're
make it
gonna-
stricter.
yeah.
Give them that opportunity, to have
But
a lunch.
the downside of that is we may get stricter anyway.
We might anyways. Yeah.
So the staff is often the weak link in the whole
Mhm.
cell phone.
So we have to make them accountable.
Mhm.
And we make them accountable through the building principals.
Okay,
Yeah.
Everyone's got to be on the same page or it's not going to work.
okay. All righty then, is there a motion then to adopt the 25-26 parent-student handbook?
I'll make a motion, we adopt the 25-26 parent student handbooks.
Second,
I'll second.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no. All right. Next on the list is approving the 25-26 athletics and activities handbook.
I guess my question was, has anything changed in this since last year?
There's a little
than the
bit
date.
changed with the WIAA code, I think around, I wish I had Kyle here. Eligibility, or we had to realign our eligibility according to our own calendar. I think there were some realignments somewhere in the drugs and alcohol and smoking. You can see the grade check. See the grade check on page 23 highlighted in yellow. That's different. Same thing on 24. And then, oh, I wish Kyle was here. I can have him report on, he'll do an athletic presentation here soon, and if there's, I don't
That's
think there were
great
any
checks.
big changes. Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, maybe have them come and touch base on it.
Okay.
But we still need to, well, do you want to table it then, or is it serious enough to,
I know whatever he has tweaked aligns with WIAA.
okay,
I am very certain of that.
okay. So then let's go ahead, if there's a motion then to adopt the athletic and activities handbook for 25-26.
I'll make a motion, we accept the 25-26 athletic activities handbook.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no. It's adopted. Now, the employee handbook doesn't have an action. Are we supposed to motion, is that a motionable thing? Okay, let's go then to the employee handbook.
Employee would be the same as for the coaches also.
They get an employee handbook and then they get the extracurricular handbook. Yeah.
So there's a change in that this year. There's something, we were just discussing a minute ago. Let's say you have a male coach with a female athlete.
That would be
can't
in
touch.
board policy. That's in board policy.
Oh.
It is. It is. And that would be required training that Kyle does a session with prior to season where he trains the coaches.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so he's already done training for the fall coaches, but that would be a part of it.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay,
Just would like to say that Hazel really took this on and made sure that all of our components aligned with current law.
Good job, Hazel.
I knew there was a reason you were here. Okay. Well then, is there a motion then to adopt the employee handbook?
I'll make a motion to adopt the employee handbook for 25-26.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor? say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no.
Could you repeat who seconded the athletic activities handbook? I think I missed that part. I know, Mike, you motioned it.
I think Shannon did.
I did.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Then we have board goals for 25, 26.
So, I put these together partially based on our discussion at the retreat. And so you can say yay or nay, do not want these, but our goal number one would to be continue our work with the professional learning communities. That's with Solution Tree, focusing on guaranteed and viable instruction. I have the 2 dates that I would ask that you, 3 dates, one in October, one in January, and one in March, that you join my team, my direct team, for continued learning. The goal would be that we would bring PLC teams throughout the year. For example, the third graders can come and show you their essential learning targets, so you can get an understanding of what they're doing. And then I would also provide observation data. One of my goals is going to be to make sure that I'm going around on early release days to make sure that they're doing their work. Checking in with the building principals to make sure that they're following, because if we have a plan and they're not following it, then it's teacher accountability. So I think that stays at the forefront. The second one would be to increase our regular attendance. You last year already identified the 90% passing rate on the Smarter Balanced. Increase our 9th grade on track rate by 10%. And I have the baseline. I want to caution you that the state's data is 2 years behind, but I have the baseline for Forks High School, and I also have the baseline for Insight School of Washington High School. And then on-time graduation rates increased by 10%. And I have the baseline, this is from 2 years ago, and that would be in 4 years time. And then the third goal, strengthen our partnership with staff. Host one of the following. We'll figure one, either student, parent, community. We talked to, or alumni, whichever one, and just do one. Let's get it on the calendar though in September where we actually have it, and then I would bring in somebody to help organize it. And then we talked about site visits, where the goal, this might be too much, we can adapt it, not pass it tonight and bring it back, but at least 2 site visits with the superintendent. We figure out when, maybe one in the fall and one in the spring. You figure out what schools you want to go to. And then the last one continues our work with the long-range facility plan, updating that, getting our middle school replacement project ready for the November 2026 ballot, build the new artificial baseball and softball fields with completion in the fall of 2027. And then you can see, I mean, that's a lot,
All good stuff though.
Yeah.
but I think very realistic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it is too, so.
Okay.
And then I don't know if you remember this from our training, but the goal is that we have your goals, my goals, then the school's goals, and they all kind of dovetail so that we're not all over the place. I like it.
Okay. Is there a motion then to adopt the board goals for 25, 26?
I'll make a motion. We adopt the 25, 26 board goals.
Second.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Okay, they're adopted. Let's then go on to the superintendent's goals.
So dovetailing, the first goal again is the further implementation of the PLC training by participating in that. making sure that grade level teams have identified their learning targets, identified grade level standards, and that they're working the next level that they're going to be working on is their common formative assessments. And then again, me doing walkthroughs during grade level PLC time to make sure that it's happening. And then goal 2 mirrors what yours mirrors. I didn't put the third one in there about your visiting to schools because I figured that's more your goal. And then the focus groups. And I'll do those with you. And then the last one is the facility plan and then the work on the facilities. Honestly, that is all I can do. I mean, that's a lot right there.
Yes.
Sure. All right. If everybody's good with those,
Mhm.
then is there a motion to adopt Diana's superintendent goals for the coming year?
I'll make a motion to
I
adopt
guess
the
this year.
superintendent goals for the 25-26 year.
Thanks. Second.
I'll second.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed say no. It is approved. Approval of out of endorsement assignments. Rob Rogers, Forks High School Math, Jason Richards. I thought Rob had a math credential.
He has a
Business.
business CTE.
Jason Richard, Ingenuity courses in the high school. Judy Whitehead, HSP.
Homeschool Plus.
Oh, right. And Janan Meyer, Homeschool Plus, ALE teachers. Cheryl Archibald, drama art teacher. Any questions about any of that? Well, is there a motion then to adopt or to approve those out of endorsement assignments?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor say, I guess it'd be polite to wait for Shannon. Well, it's probably not critical.
No.
Yeah. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed say no. One was absent. Okay. Fall coaches staff resolutions.
But
Resolution,
because they were just
Yeah,
approved.
yes.
what's the matter?
Oh, the soccer coach and assistant girls soccer coach weren't on there, but because they weren't approved prior.
Mhm.
But we're about,
They've
Oh.
already been approved.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
yeah,
these have been?
no,
No.
the soccer
Right, we,
coaches are not on there because they were approved in the
in the
consent.
consent
Yeah.
agenda.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Is there a motion then to adopt the fall coaches staff resolution 9-24 25?
I'll make a motion
Thanks.
for the 25-26 fall coaches staff resolution 9-24/25.
I'll second.
Great. All those in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no. All right, we need a motion to approve the 25-26 certificated staff resolution 10-24/25.
I'll make a motion to approve the certified staff resolution 10-24/25.
Great. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. It is passed.
How many you got on that list there?
Which list?
The certificated. Must be
I think there are 85, somewhere in there. I could look at our budget at a glance and tell you, although that doesn't have the certificated administrators.
Okay, did we vote on this?
Mhm.
Okay. Then we're going to go to, just a minute.
Number 13.
Classified, yeah. Right.
Got me. Okay, classified staff resolution. Is there a motion to adopt the 2520-/26 classified staff resolution number 11-24/25?
I'll make a motion.
Second,
I'll second.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no. None. They are resoluted.
Resoluted?
Yeah. All right, next to last, is there a motion to approve 2526 unrepresented staff resolution 12-24/25?
I'll make a motion to approve the unrepresented staff resolution 12-24/25.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Aye. Okay, abstain, one
No one
abstention.
abstains.
All right. Any opposed? No. All right, last, but not
Yeah,
certainly,
Basil. Saw your name on that list.
last but not least, the need a motion to approve 2526 administrative staff resolution number 13-24/25. Is there such a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Thanks. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. It is resolved. And that concludes the September 26th, the August 26th
I was like,
meeting
it's
of,
September? Did I miss
meeting of the
something?
Quileute Valley School District. We are adjourned.
Thanks for coming, Myron.
Okay, see you later. Thank you, guys.
All right, so